everyone! So today is our last day here in the Philippines, so we went to the mall here in Makati to pick up gifts or pasalubong for our kids, and just look at what we found! Hello everyone! And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please click the subscribe button for more gardening, cooking, and travel tips videos. A huge plant exhibit here in Glorietta. This is just so unexpected, and they have a huge variety of gorgeous and rare plants here, so I just thought of filming to show you the plants that they are selling. And some of the prices are really reasonable and cheaper here compared to the price that we have back home. Oh, and this plant exhibit is only running through November 24th, so this event might be way over by the time that I post this video. But I just thought of giving you a tour of the plants that they are selling here and some prices because they are just so amazing. So I decided to do a voiceover from here on because my video cam audio is so hard to understand. Anyway, so this is the first booth that we went to. This is owned by Joanne of Julians Catering. Yes, her main business is catering, but she recently started her plant business. Her booth truly caught our attention because her plants are so big, lush, and the booth itself was so organized. She was selling plants from golden pothos to begonias to monsteras and this rare and highly variegated money tree which was selling for just 20,000 pesos.
And this one is a variegated money plant. This one is 20,000 pesos. Just take a look at how pretty it is.
So 20,000 pesos is about $420. And if you think that that is expensive, then think again. In the US, a small variegated money plant sells for around $600, and a medium-sized plant sells for around $1,200. So yeah, this money plant is cheaper in the Philippines than in the US. And you might think that plants in the Philippines are always cheaper because it is a tropical island and because most plants thrive in this environment, but nope, that is not always the case. For example, this Polka Dot Begonia is selling for 2,500 pesos in the Philippines or $52. But in the US, it sells for only $18 or maybe up to $36 depending on the size. Now, this is a begonia that I saw in my local Lowe's just last week, and this was selling for $17.98. And then this Pilea plant was selling for 3,700 pesos, which is about $75. But in the US, you can actually get this plant this size for just $15 to $25. Now, Pileas were selling like pancakes in the US, and this will continue to be a trendy plant for 2021. But because they become more available in the US, and since big box stores are now selling them, the prices of Pileas in the US are slowly going down. Okay, so this really lush golden pothos that comes with a pole was selling for 900 pesos or about $20, which I think is almost the same price here in the US. And I say that because this pothos that I got from a local nursery for $25 is relatively bigger compared to the one in the Philippines. It is a few dollars more because it is bigger. And then this alocasia was selling for 3,800 pesos or about $80. Now this alocasia looks very healthy and prolific, and it has a lot of babies. So a size like this may sell for around $60 in the US, just like you see here. Now this is my Alocasia Polly that I bought for only $14 about 3 months ago. It only had 3 or 4 big leaves when I got it, but you know, alocasias are fast growers, so this plant produced quite a few babies since I got it. Anyway, so you see, it is not always cheaper in the Philippines, right? Some are about the same price and some are more expensive. Also, keep in mind that this is a plant exhibit, so the vendors had to pay for their booths, so the prices are probably more compared to when you buy them online or at their retail stores. So, let's keep looking at these gorgeous plants on display here and continue with our price comparison. So this trailing Monstera Adansonii or Little Swiss was priced at 950 pesos or $20, which is about the same price here in the US. This wallichii sells for 400 pesos to 800 pesos in the Philippines depending on the size. In the US, wallichii starts at $70. These vibrant black velvets were selling for 995 pesos or $20 each, and each plant has about 3 to 4 leaves. In the US, black velvets this size start at $30. Now, this is my black velvet and I got this for $45 in our local nursery. And it has about 7 leaves plus a new leaf that is about to unfurl. I hope. Those Philodendron Gloriosums at the bottom shelf was selling for 950 pesos per pot. Notice that it has 2 leaves, and this is a rare philodendron, at least here in the US, so the price is much more expensive here. It starts at about $100 or 4,800 pesos. Now, this is my Gloriosum that I bought for $90. It is not as glorious, but I am hoping and praying that this recovers soon. These pearls and jade pothos were selling for 395 pesos. This has 3 to 4 plants in one pot. Now, this is the pearls and jade that I bought from my local nursery here for $12.99. And it has a few more plants in it, so I think the price of pearls and jade pothos here in the Philippines are almost the same. And staying on pothos, this gorgeous Silvery Pothos tower that has about 3 to 4 plants in it was selling for
6,500
6,500
from Holland.
Holland? Okay. Thank you.
And in the US, a plant this size starts at $50 or 2,400 pesos. And this Philo Heartleaf Tower that has about 3 matured and gorgeous plants in it was selling for
4,500.
And in the US, a pot like this with about 4 to 6 plants in it sells for $15. But, I cannot deny that these Silvery and Heartleaf philodendrons are absolutely gorgeous. Okay, so these Philodendron Birkins were selling for 1,500 pesos, which is about the same as what we have here. Now, I heard that Birkins were selling for $100 a pot a year ago. But since they are now being produced in laboratories by tissue culture, they are now more affordable. I got this one for only $16.98. So now let's take a look at some of the other varieties showcased in this event, like this Monstera Peru here, this big Philodendron Ring of Fire, and beside it is this giant Alocasia Stingray. So this is a Philodendron Warszewiczii, and this one is an Anthurium, but I'm not familiar with Anthurium varieties just yet, so I'm really sorry if I don't know what this is. And there were giant Philodendron Gloriosums. And you can see at the back, this is a very eye-catching and stunning Variegated ZZ plant. And there's also a few Monstera Deliciosas. There are also Caladiums, different Alocasia varieties, Syngoniums, and so much more. Okay, so now back to price comparison. So this Aglonaema suksum jaipong was selling for 1,500 pesos, but you can get this cheaper at other shops. And in the US, this sells for at least $75. This big whale fin was selling for only 500 pesos, but in the US, this sells for about $40 or 2,000 pesos. This Monstera Deliciosa was selling for 4,500 pesos, but in the US, you can get this size for just half the price. And the Variegated ZZ plant was priced at 3,700 pesos, but in the US, a plant like this sells for twice the price, maybe starting at $150. And take a look at this. 2 Variegated ZZ leaves were selling for $70. And lastly, this Thai Constellation was selling for 45,000 pesos. In the US, you can get a plant like this size for almost the same price. And I've heard that tissue-cultured Thai constellations will be released this year. Yep, in 2021. So the prices for constellations could significantly go down when this happens. Okay, so that's it for today, and I really hope that you find this video helpful. Now, because we had to fly back to the US the next day, and since we didn't have time to pack the plants and get the necessary paperwork to bring them with us, we only bought a few pots from the exhibit. These are the pots that we bought from Foliage PH, and they were selling for 250 pesos only. I wish we bought more because the quality of these plants are just amazing. Okay guys, thanks again for watching, and I hope to see you on my next video.
Ang ganda! Video to eh. Hello kayo! Hi!